Still nothing, and I heard it for a second. Okay, it's not making anything move here. The audio is back. You hear it now? Okay. So I don't know what I did. I'm not seeing the levels changing on my program. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm figuring this out and learning as we go, so we'll figure this out. We'll make it. Okay, we're all good now. Thank you for the feedback. I genuinely appreciate it. Okay. "813 Miss Jackson. Hey, I hear you. Hello, Miss Jackson. How are you doing, Adrian? Okay, let's get going now that we fixed the audio issue, and I completely got distracted as to what we're doing. Oh yes, Catra costume. Whenever I start a new costume, I have to do a head, shoulders, knees, and toes. And I go through and think about all the things that I have, all the things that I need to get, all the things I have to build, and all the things that I have to buy. And I kind of break it down into those various categories. Let's see. Okay, so I don't know if I have all my things figured out that I can go through different photos and make it happen or not. But the image I just showed you was of Catra that my little brother drew for me. So it's fan art. And I highly recommend taking the time to draw out your cosplay, even if it's a rough thumbnail. For my Harley Quinn cosplay, I drew it out so I would know this side is the red side, this side's the black side, red side, black side, and that I had a visual idea of what I needed to do and all the pieces that I needed to build, make, and think about in general. So having a hand-drawn is not necessary, but it really does help you figure out all the pattern pieces and things that you're going to need. So my little brother helped me out and drew this picture for me. And let's talk about it. Starting from head to toe, wigs. Catra wigs, oh my gosh, I've seen some really good tutorials for them. I, however, do not like wearing wigs, especially for extended periods of time. And if there's any way I cannot have to do a wig, I won't. So instead of doing a wig, and cut. No, instead of doing a wig, I pull this thing out. I have no idea when I acquired this, where I acquired it from. It could be a thrift store. It could have been my mom. I don't think it was my mom. But this is an old crimper. It has the gold crimping plates. That means it gets really hot. So it means that it really damages your hair, but it also really does hold. And it goes pretty quickly. And so in order to get the volume and that texture of the mane, the lion's mane, I typically end up crimping my hair twice. So I go through and give it a full crimp, hairspray the heck out of it, flip it upside down, brush, maybe tease it a little bit, and then go through a whole second time with the crimping iron and just add the volume. it's worked in the past, and I really like the way it turns out. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good, and it gives me a lion's mane that I really enjoy having. Yeah, so a must-have on the list, especially if I'm not doing a wig. And even if I was doing a wig, I think that hairspray in general would be a good thing to bring. Oh, nice. Miss Jackson, I'm great. Finally enabled notifications for YouTube so I can finally watch the video live. I'm really glad that you're able to make it. Danda's Junk says, most of my cosplay references are built. Yes, you have your actual Gundam costumes to reference, which really genuinely helps. When I was helping Odin pattern his Mechagodzilla, having the physical toy and measuring it and then comparing it to the measurements on the bodies helped so much. When I ended up making the Krusty doll, I did a tutorial of how to draw Krusty doll, and then I made it the size and scale that I wanted my doll to end up being and drew it that size so that I had a visual representation of what I needed. I'm sorry, Spooky, not right now. Okay, I am speaking when I show the pictures, but I guess my audio capture device is not working on the photos, so I can see if I can fix that. So, and Dan, I do have my mic added. It's just I added a whole new mic onto my webcam because the mic was working when I did my test and it's on all my shots. But when I went live, you guys told me you couldn't hear me, so I added a new mic just to the webcam. So I'm troubleshooting live, which is not the best way to go about things. So let me know, please, and I will try and fix as soon as I know, and I can. Anyways, boring technical difficulties out of the way. Let's talk more costumes. Okay, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. We're still talking head. We have the hair. And I'm going to pull out the ears and tails in just a moment, so we're going to skip that for just a little bit. We have the face mask. That is one of those accessories I built with Odin. Let me pull that out because I do need to prep it for this weekend. It is not that bad, but it could use just a little bit of TLC before it goes out in the wild. Look at this laundry bag full of a costume. We'll pull it all out. More stuff. And a heat gun. Okay. So in here I have the Catra mask. And the biggest gripe that I have about this mask is these things don't really sit on my face. It's comfortable that they don't sit on my face, but I feel like it looks better if they do. And if I put this on here, this is an ironing ham, and it's tapered. So this end's wider, this end's more narrow. So if I put this on so that it's at the wide end, but then wrap it so that it curves on the base of it. Somebody not last week, a few weeks ago, had mentioned using an ace bandage, and I'm like, that's a brilliant idea. I don't have an ace bandage, but same concept. I'm using just a piece of knit fabric, and I'm going to wrap it so the little cheek parts are laying nice and close to the curve of the ham. Look at that. I wrapped it up like a little mummy. And then I'm going to hit it with the heat gun. It may take a little bit more for the heat to sink through the fabric, but it'll also hold the heat in too, which is always good. And after I heat it, I have to let it cool in the right position. And we'll see if this makes a difference. It really does help freshen up foam props using a heat gun. The foam memory is real. Yeah. I'm just going to let this sit and cool off for a little bit and hold its shape. And we'll kind of move down the head. We're going to go to eyes. Now, Adora has a... Hold on, let's look at the photo. Just doing a quick picture of the photo because my audio issues we won't talk about. But if you peeked, one eye is yellow and one eye is blue. Now, I get irritated by wigs. Poking things on my eyeballs like contact lenses aren't going to happen, not for a little con like this for sure. But I am going to do eyeshadow, and I have this very bright and colorful palette here that has a really good yellow and a really good blue that I've used for this Catra costume before. And before doing the eyeshadow, if I use a primer, it actually comes out that vivid. So primers are really, really useful, especially when you're going for the crazy eye colors. The rest of her makeup seems very neutral, so I'll keep it natural. But I wanted to play with the eyes just because it's fun and it has that feel. Now moving down to the rest of the body, we're going to look at her bodice. Her bodice can be interpreted a lot of different ways. And if you look at the official costume, it's a one-piece bodice where it is a shirt that has an upper panel with the neckline. That is one color. And then the bottom bodice portion of the shirt, like the body of the shirt, is another color. And it goes into a point. I interpreted it as a bustier over the top of a shirt. And I went for real clothing versus a costume. Yes, I could probably sew it. Yes, I could make it in one piece, possibly two. But in the end, it's probably going to end up costing more in fabric than it would be to just buy the pieces already made. I'm sorry, Spooky. You're just got to be chill for the moment. No? It's okay. Sorry about that. So when shopping for the shirt, the things that I was most concerned about was the neckline. I wanted a mock turtleneck. So I was looking for turtleneck. I was looking for mock turtleneck. Sometimes the right term will get, like knowing the terminology for what you're looking for is going to make it significantly easier. But sometimes also understanding what other people call things helps make things easier to find. A turtleneck versus a mock turtleneck, there's a difference, but not everybody knows that, especially people listening things on Amazon. So I will look up all sorts of different versions of what I'm looking for. I believe for the bodice, for the shirt underneath the bustier, I did a mock turtleneck sleeveless tank top. A leotard would have worked. Anything that had the right neckline would have worked, even if it didn't have the right sleeves, because removing sleeves is easy enough. But I ended up finding a sleeveless tank top that had the mock turtleneck, and it was in an orange rib knit. And the orange was the right color, which color is like the thing that bothers me the most when you're trying to get cosplays, especially when you're deciding, do I make it or do I buy it? Finding the right color will usually push you in one direction or the other. So it ended up being way cheaper to get a shirt. And then for the rest of the bodice, I ended up getting, here, let me go. All right, can you guys hear me? See Spooky right down there? He says hi. All right. This costume, let's look at it. I found one orange bustier. It has a zipper up the front, which is not necessarily right, but I don't hate it, and it's not 100% wrong. From far away, it does not bother me. It has the little V in the front, which was one of the more important details that I wanted to get. And the boning sucks. This boning right here. Hi, people. This plastic boning right here. It does not do what it's supposed to do. It is the cheapest, crappiest boning that you could possibly get. This vinyl fabric is a really crappy vinyl. Like, I wouldn't overly wash it or expose it to water if at all possible. Yep, wash and cold iron. Don't dry it. Don't iron it. Don't do anything. I would probably spot clean. This is a very it's not a very durable fabric. I wouldn't talk crap about the fabric because I genuinely like the way it looks. I like that it has that... Sorry, Spooky. I kicked him. Not on purpose and not hard. But, oops. But it has the right leather look. And I feel like Catra would do this. Like, I could see her bodice being leather. She's kind of that kind of a kitty cat. And I made two alterations to this. The first alteration I did was this piece of red foam. It is just inside the little flap that goes behind the zipper, because although it does have the plastic boning, it doesn't have the boning to support either side of the closure, so it wrinkles, which I don't like. So I added just a little piece of wet the foam. So it's a really dense craft foam. Spooky. I know. You just gotta wait. I'm so sorry. But I used contact cement to hold it in place, and it stayed perfectly. The other adjustment that I made is I added these little thread loops on both sides. I did a wide one for the wide belt and a narrow one for the narrow belt, so that they're on the correct sides and they hang in the X that she has on her hip. And those were the two main changes. Eventually, I need to change out these laces. I am not a fan of these ribbons, but it does make it really easy to attach the cause tail. That's why it has this little section that's not laced, because I can hide it in the lacing, and then I can tuck the lacing in the back, and we're just going to pretend we don't see that orange crisscrossing in back. And we're going to have to pretend that's good enough. I know there's better ways to go about it, but I didn't have to sew this, and I will accept it as such. I'm worried about blowing the power, but I think we should be fine. Okay. I kicked on the steamer. This thing needs to get steamed, although it is not, I'm not going to like throw it in the dryer. I will steam it and make it look nice and fresh, refreshed. Get this like flattened out. It'll look like so much nicer if I just add the little steamer. But I was looking for keywords like corset, bustier, bodice, and then I was looking for orange specifically, filtered out in colors. And then I didn't want anything with a crazy print. I think this color ended up being perfect, and it was like my only choice. So yes, it worked. All right, let me open that door for Spooky. 1 second. All right, Spooky. You know, Toby and Bruno are here too, and they're being very quiet and well behaved right over there watching me. Now he's meowing at the back door. Okay, but so we're moving down the costume and we've made it to the belts. Normally, I like thrifting belts because you can find all sorts of really good leather belts for really cheap, especially if they have ugly belt buckles or boring belt buckles. But these ones are just strips of leather that we turned into belts that were the right size. Odin got these, so I said thank you. This one is just 1/2 inch leather strip that we contact cemented Velcro to so that it's easy to go on and off, and it has a little bit of adjustability in size, not that it really needs it. It hangs diagonally on the hip. And then this one, oh my goodness, did this belt buckle give us way more trouble than we expected. We were going, oh cool, look it, we have a laser cutter. Let me laser cut this metal piece. Oh wait, the laser cutter's not doing a darn thing to it. Let's try doing it this way. Let's try doing it that way. Anyways, we ended up laser cutting vinyl, and then we stuck the sticker onto the belt buckle. And I think it turned out amazing, but it was a lot of problem solving and a lot of changing our direction multiple times to make this happen. So I want to say it was easy, but it wasn't. And then moving down to knees and toes, she had burgundy leggings. And now I was looking specifically for colors. And then I was also looking for not necessarily fiber content, but I was looking for the finished texture. I didn't want anything that was high gloss or really shiny. I went for a spandex cotton combo, a poly spandex cotton combo. Anyways, these pants right here. Ta-da! Because it was the right color. So all of the colors in my head, I'm trying to match a cartoon. Now, there is real life colors. There is what colors look like on camera and under lights. And then there are what's on my phone versus printed out colors. None of them are the same, and all of them are the same. And how we see each one is completely... It changes so much. So you kind of have to take a deep breath and go close enough. And I think with all of these, I ended up with colors that were pretty good and close enough. I really liked how this wasn't a bright, obnoxious orange and ended up being kind of more of a leather orange. The ribbon's a bright, obnoxious orange. Then I'm grateful that the whole rest of the costume isn't. Not that I hate orange or think it's obnoxious. I absolutely love the color. But I liked that it was on the more natural side and not so much on the vibrant side for this specific project. Yeah, really trying to figure out which colors doing the face mask. We ended up using spray paint because it was like the right shade, better than the other paints that we had, and it was already the right color. But I don't know if you can hear this, but there's a cracking sound that I hear when I bend it when it's cold versus when I bend it when I have the heat gun on it. This feels like it's been set. Oh, there we go. See, they're kind of curved in now. There we go. Now it fits without having to do this to smoosh it to my cheeks. Let me see. Am I straight? Yeah. So, yeah. Heat is your friend, especially with these foam accessories. Yeah, let me pull out the Cause tool. It's not Cause Tools. Cause Tools is the cutters. Let me pull out the ears. brand says Cause Ears, so. And this is a Cause band. I think there's a theme going on. Oh my. This is magnets, where although I love magnets, magnets are very difficult to work with. All right. We have ears, earpieces. And I have tail and charger. Okay, I am no, I'm not. All right, we have a Cause tail, tail cover, Cause ears, and ear covers. Yeah. There were 2 different ones sent, and I believe these ones were for the other costume, but I think it works for Catra because it is a brown tail. And that is pretty darn on point for Catra. This tail is really fun to work with, but there are strings on either side, so you can change the length, shorten or lengthen this tail. But honestly, that's the hardest part about this tail, is getting the string tensions right. And there is a metal piece that is down the center of this that's hooked into the bottom. I just clicked it into the right spot. It's this metal piece that goes down the spine. This is where you tension it. And then there's Velcro up here, so yay, not magnets, to attach it. To the cover. So this, I think it needs to get turned on. Let me see how to turn it on. It's been a while. It's been a very long time. I don't remember how we got this going. And I know these ones, our buttons are right on it. I think this one's missing its battery pack. I'll pull that out. But the ears, these magnets go in the ears themselves. And I'm always confused as to which direction they go. They do need to be charged, but those go on the headpiece. I don't like this headpiece. I think there might be another headpiece. Let me check in here. So the biggest issue with this headpiece is that it is a thick band. That I really do feel when it's on my head. So the magnets are right here and here. And they go right up top there. Again, all this is going to be hidden in the mane of hair is the plan. Then they go on top like that. And all needs to be anchored with bobby pins. Do not forget bobby pins. Add that onto the list if you have a piece that goes on your head just always add the bobby pins. These are not the ears we used for Catra. The Catra costume itself, these are the fox ears, but they're very Catra-esque looking. I know these aren't the ones we used because they still have the pieces attached. I already have Velcro on these, so I don't need those. Yana with Felicia needs to mark her boxes. I do, but this wasn't my box. It was Odin's box that I just got from him on Sunday, so. Aha. I am not claiming my part in that problem. Oops. This one's upside down. It goes this way. That way. There we go. That's the direction they go. And then they magnetize right onto the headband. There's two different headbands. The one that's a headband is my more favorite one. But this one's not half bad. It's just not my favorite. Let me see. Yeah, I really need poofy hair. Like, I feel like the hair poofage is what's going to pull this costume. It does not work without the hair poofage, but I really do like the ears. The charger. Let me put this on the ears themselves right now so that it can get charging. And then I'll be ready and I won't have to think about it again. Okay, so head, shoulders, knees, we went for the cotton leggings, and then toes. Catra's barefoot, but barefoot at a con is not a thing that I'm willing to do because gross. But I was going to do sandals, but the weather's been freezing cold and I plan on wearing it this weekend. So I just went with the basic nude shoe. Less is more. We're not going to think about it. Yeah. So, yeah. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Purchased the shirt, the bodice, and the pants. And I made the mask and belts. And then we were given the ears and the tails from Cause Gear. Cause Gear. That's the overall company name. I'm like, it's Cause this, Cause that. What is the last part of the Cause? Because Cause Tools is the company that I like using their circle cutters and foam punches and such. But Cause Gear is who offers these ears and tails. They did not sponsor this video. They sponsored the video that I worked with that's linked in the description below. But I really like these tail and ears. They add an element of whimsy and playfulness that I absolutely love in a cosplay. Like, oh wait, are you listening to me? Did your ear move? And the ears are sound activate. Well, they have 3 different settings. They have like just a natural setting where they move. They just kind of move naturally here and there. They have a sound activated setting. So they, like, if they hear a sound, they kind of point towards the sound. And then they have a like chaotic setting where they just kind of move a lot so that you notice that they are moving. Because the movement's so subtle, you don't necessarily notice it, that it feels natural, but then you put it on the little bit of the chaotic mode and then it's like, okay, my ears are actually moving and it's not as subtle, which is fun. Okay. Ianela says, you can make shoe covers. I know, but for bare feet, what's the point? These pants are stirrups, so I can take the stirrup of the shoe and then put it over like that. And that's like close enough without having to be bare feet. Although I could add toenails. That would be fun. But not going to happen this con. I'm definitely not adding toenails to the outside of my shoes. Then it's just like, wait, that's weird. If it's just nude, nobody's going to think about it. They're going to move on going, oh, you have all the pieces right. Because, yeah, she's barefoot. Don't have to overthink it. But, yeah, shoe covers are a thing, but not for this one. Yeah, matching boots colors wise would be fine. Yeah, there's a lot of different things she can do. She does have bare feet. I used to have bare slippers, like bare feet slippers, so they're like teddy bear slippers. And I thought those would be funny with this costume, but they have the soft soles, so wearing that in the rain is just going to asking for a sopping, moppy mess. So I think these little simple slip-on shoes are going to work for me. And we're going to call it a day with that. Let me show you the mess of the costume. Put my bag over here. Ears, tail, bodice. Let's go to... Can you guys hear me? Just making sure that this view works. So we have the two belts, the face mask, the bodice, the tail, the ears, the makeup, the crimper, and an emergency heat gun. And then let's see. Don't worry, I'm only live. Iana says, behind the scenes fashions, you can wear pantyhose and add cat nails on top of those. I love the way you think. I honestly do. I think that's so much fun. I was considering doing the pantyhose so that it would just be warmer in general, especially, fleece line tights. Those things are the best. But I don't think it's going to be that bad, to tell you the honest truth. And we're going to be inside. So I'll have a jacket. And I think with this costume, it would... I'm sorry, I got distracted. I turned on my steamer and I've been waiting for it to heat up, and it shouldn't take this long. It took that. It's not steaming because it's empty, completely empty. Okay, well, I won't be steaming this live, but I'll steam it right after. But before I put on the corset, it's this thing. Let's see. I haven't put this on in a minute. It's not fully adjusted, but it's not too bad off. These tails, they need to hide somewhere. I just tuck them in my corset, lay them flat, and then just kind of fold them out of the way so that it don't have a big giant knot anywhere, because that's not comfortable. And this shirt was a crop top, so it doesn't really cover my waist, so it's not added protection, but it has the right neckline. The mock turtleneck, sleeveless, and it's a good rib knit, so it has a good texture. Now see how my corset's kind of laced? If you look on the inside, I skipped and went down to the bottom. You can lace towards the center and lace towards the center. You typically do that because when you pull laces tight, it gets tightest where you pull them and it's loosest at the bottom. So if you take the 2 strings and you lace them towards the center, when you pull it tight, it will be the tightest at the waistline versus too low on the hip or too high at the bust. But because I need this open, I just laced it closed and then adjusted on the bottom. And that. I haven't put this on or adjusted it. We'll see. This could be really awkward. We'll find out. You smoosh it and you smoosh it and then you smush it. Ah, got my hair. So it's not that perfect V that she has. I feel like if I did this and folded this part in, I could have that V she has, but then it's like making a bigger deal out of the zipper than I really care to. And I feel less is more and very much more secure having the zipper closed. And now this should line up easier to click on the tail. Let's see if I can do that. I usually have help. It's okay, you're here to watch me struggle. Ah! Okay. Let me pull off the cover and then I'll put it back on after it's clicked in place. Oh, thank you, Austin Lips. I'm glad you enjoyed the setup. I tried today. I put some effort into it before I went live. I need a mirror. If I'm going to do this all by myself, I need a mirror. So, anyways, that isn't happening because I don't have a mirror. Now, like I said, I really don't like all this extra ribbon. You need a lot of ribbon so that it can expand and then it can also get tightened. But then you have to tuck it into the corset. And I just shove. Just hopefully I don't have like a little tail chasing me. But there's so much of this ribbon. Yeah. There will be a tail hiding the bottom ugly part of it, so I don't super stress out over it. I don't have to remember which side the big one and which side the little one goes on because it can only go one way or the other when I made these little loops to attach it. Yana with call for help. I'll get help on that day when I'm supposed to wear it. I like to keep the joint where it's joint right at that the loop I made so that it stays in place and then it doesn't swish around and it stays at the right angle. Because crossing belts are not as easy as video games would make you think they are. They never are. I wanted Spooky to come in and see my big reveal, but he was just like not having it being in here. Oops. Now I can adjust where I want. The horde symbol. And it's upside down. Let's do this again. I can dress myself. Professionally, I dress people. Okay, so it goes this way. It's the right side up this time. There we go. Eventually we'll figure it out. Did my hair just flick this off again? Does it sound much better with it or not? I don't know the difference, but I'm trying to do it better. Feeling a little more Catra-y as already. I genuinely like how comfortable this is because it's real people clothes. It's not just costume clothes. It's not fake fabrics or cheap fabrics that don't breathe. It is cotton and polyester. This thing's that cheap cotton, not cheap cotton, the cheap vinyl that doesn't breathe, but it's over a cotton layer, so it's like wearing shoes and socks, so it doesn't really bother me. See the slight little bumps? This would be way worse if I didn't have that foam piece in it, and if I go through with an iron, I can press it a little straighter. So I plan on doing that. Let me... Yeah, it's kind of pushing it slightly forward because of the way I have it on my hair. But I would honestly say I'm pretty prepared for this costume now that I have the ears and tails. Not that I really need that super badly. And then as far as makeup goes, there's some freckles on her face, and then she has tiger stripes on her arms. When I dressed up in this costume last time, I did the cardinal sin of using a Sharpie to draw the tiger stripes, which I do not recommend. Do not use Sharpie to draw on yourself. But it stayed the entire time, and it comes off really easy with hand sanitizer. Shh, I did not say that. But this time I plan on using washable marker in orange because I have it. And that should be easier to take off than with hand sanitizer. But yeah, if you get Sharpie on your skin, just put the hand sanitizer on your skin, let it set, and it'll lift the ink off, and then you can wipe it. You have to let it sit, though. It does make a big difference. Ionolith, that's why I wear all cotton clothes and leather to a con. That makes sense. It really does. It's comfortability. It needs to breathe. Okay, sorry, I was catching up on the chat. Spooky might see me as competition, but he's not really a mean cat. He has his dogs. He has his Toby and his Bruno. He's a pretty good kitty cat. I can't complain about him. He probably will be weirded out if he notices the tail and the ear movements. I don't think he'll be bothered that there's a tail in their ears, but I think he will notice, like, are you listening to me? Cats do their little airplane ears, and I think they do a lot of their conversations with the ears and the tail. So if my tail's moving, he'll be like, excuse me? What did you say? Flicking your tail like that? So we'll see. We'll see. But he probably won't even notice. Okay. Well, I am ready to go with this costume, but before I go, I wanted to open up what I call a Barney bag. If you guys ever seen the show Barney, please don't date me. But I was obsessed as a child, and when they pulled out the Barney bag of craft supplies and seeing what they're going to make today, that was my favorite part of the show, and the apparently foreshadowing in my life of what I would do. And now, for Christmas, my mother gave me basically a Barney bag full of arts and crafts supplies, and I have gone through this once, and I wanted to go through it with you and enjoy some of the things in here because, yeah. So first thing she gave me is this non-woven interfacing or interlining. So I have that for projects now. Multicolored zippers with the zipper heads so I can mix and match them up. I'm kind of excited about this. I never buy zippers, and I now have a whole bunch to choose from. I haven't opened this yet, but it is a roll of black pleather. So it's that plastic vinyl, and I feel like there's so many fun things that I can do with that. This one she was super excited about. Here, let me go with the above shot camera, see if that works a little bit better. Look at my mess. What is this mess? Let's go. Look at that retro vintage box. What's in here? What do you think is in here? Without peeking. What do you guys think these are? Look it, it's $10. Oh, nope, it was only $5, but they're $30 on eBay. What do you think these crazy things are? They're called Fast Turns Fabric Tube Turning System. And it has a whole booklet of instructions on how to use it. And basically, it is for turning fabric tubes inside out. So if you're doing spaghetti straps, if you're doing cords, if you want to do a covered rope, oh my gosh, these things will save you so much heartache. And on the picture in the box, it has one of these 80s belts that we would use at the costume shop all the time for shepherds, little things to put over the little fabric. We'd use them also for flapper headbands and mostly hair accessories, crowns and such. But I kind of got excited. I don't like to have too many craft supplies. I'm trying to get out of the hoard, people. Crafting hoard. But I'm really excited about these. And they're in the original box with all the instructions. And it looks all nifty. And then this is a really heavy plastic, probably nylon, so a horsehair braid, but it is a whole piece of fabric. And so this is going to be an amazing skirt one day. It's going to happen. I am so excited about this. Maybe a pair of wings too. And then there's also black horsehair braid, enough to do a really big full skirt. So this is going to be some fun projects eventually. Look at this little koozie, this little cozy for my iron. I'm working on getting an industrial iron, an industrial iron, like a steam iron, a drip iron, and iron cozies go great with those. And so, fun. Blue yarn because I needed it for a project, and then string. I always can use this type of string, and I don't have any, so I now have two things. But this, oh, not this. Look at these. These are weights. Instead of using pins to cut out my fabric and such, there's these weights, and they have little tacks that you can slide. You know what? Let me go for the above camera. They have little tacks and pins. Wait, am I upside down? Am I right side up? I'm upside down. That go in them to make them stick to the fabric. I'm trying to figure this all out. Don't worry, we're doing this live. But I got really excited when I pulled this out. Now, my mom knows that I don't buy patterns. So it's like, why is there a pattern in this Barney bag of craft supplies? But then I got really excited when I saw the pattern. It is a one pattern piece dress. There's only one pattern piece. And it is an infinity dress, or an infinite dress. It's McCall's pattern 5360. Copyright 1976. And so I feel like this would be a really good pattern to talk about patterns and how they work and how to use them. And so I want to do this for my next live stream, where we go through and prep the pattern to turn it into this dress. We'll see how far we can actually get on the live stream. But I thought this would be really good for talking about commercial sewing patterns. I'm not anti-commercial sewing patterns. I'm totally for them. But I don't like the seam allowance, the 5/8 seam allowance. It breaks my brain because it just doesn't fit prettily on my sewing machine. It doesn't line up with anything. Personal issues. I like 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch, depending on the application of seam allowances, even on my sewing machine. And commercial patterns don't typically do that. They do the 5/8 inch. And then also, I do my patterns very custom. Shoulder to shoulder is going to match my shoulder to apex, apex to waist, shoulder to waist at side. All of those numbers, like, I have control of. But when you're using a commercial pattern, you're kind of assuming they have close enough. And although you can check it, I never want to check it. I just want to cut out the pattern and go from there. But I thought this one would be really fun to, like, just nitty gritties on one pattern piece, so we keep it as simple as possible. But in my head, I've already designed this dress that's going to be lined, and I've added more pieces. Anyways, but we're going to keep it as simple as possible. And then the last few things in here is a bag of old goodies. There's bias tape makers, beeswax, rotary cutters, nail thread snips, and hem clips, which are all very useful tools. Hem clips are great for measuring. Bias tape. One day I'll have to show you guys how to do endless bias tape, or continuous bias tape. That's what it's called. And then this is a bag of retro, like, look at these things. They are from it doesn't have a date on them. Sometimes they do have dates. But based on this hairstyle, when do you think that these covered buttons were made? I would say 1970s. Look at that. But yeah, that is some yellow double knit polyester. I love it. How do you get your bangs to stay up that high? That I need to do whatever she did. Wait, they don't sell those chemicals anymore. And then this is a sequins and ribbon foot, which is the foot that you need instead of doing all these hacks to line up your ribbon to sew it on the edge of your fabric with a guide. I'm probably not going to end up using that foot. I understand what it's used for, and I appreciate having the right tool for the job, but I haven't changed my sewing machine in my foot on my sewing machine for over 3 years, and it's just been the same foot for no matter the application that I've used it for. And I do have a real Teflon foot, but I don't even use my real Teflon foot. I use my clear foot with Teflon tape on it, and I have not struggled since I've done that. Like, even with like leathers, vinyls, plastics, papers, chiffon, velvet, and all the other weird fabrics and materials that I've used. So welcome to my hoard of crafting supplies enabled by my dear mother. But I thought this was a fun goodie bag, but I'm really, really excited about this pattern. Let me give you guys a little close-up on it after I clear the bag. So, camera, iPhone. Ta-da! We are gonna go upside. Oh, are we upside down? Calls. So we're gonna give that a try. I'm really excited. Welcome, Ace. You made it. Okay. Okay, sorry. I was trying to catch up on the chat. I'm glad you guys are all here. Okay, so I'm pretty set for this weekend. I will take photos and videos and see if I can post those from the con. Yeah, I'm really excited about that coming up. And then next Tuesday, on the live stream, I want to do the infinity dress. I have to go search my fabric hoard and see what I can come up with. The problem with this is that I need 3.5 yards. Or 3.4 meters. And the finished length should be 43 inches. I'm not sure if that's waist to hem, which sounds about right, but in that case, I probably would bring it down, hem it to 40 inches instead of 43. But if it's the finished, it's a wrap dress, so I feel like the length of it can change depending on how you wrap it. So we'll see what numbers we have to change, but it's 109 centimeters finished. So that's what we'll do next time. We'll dissect this pattern, see what all the parts are, how we adjust it to our sizes, because this is made for fits hip size 32 to 38, which is kind of a broad range, but it is a wrap dress out of a stretch knit, and it's not that hard to widen. So we'll talk about all the alterations and how to do them from this pattern. Will there be more mustaches? Ace is referring to when I was dressed up as Catra, I was running around with mustaches pranking Mechagodzilla and Dan's Gundam costume. And then I also got the Lego Man, and I think Odin's bust got hit up, but it wasn't by me, but I did get the mischief started. So that was definitely fun. I was running around putting mustaches on because I feel like that was a very Harley Quinn prank to do, and I was getting in the spirit of the costume. So I don't think that that's going to happen this next con because I'm not Harley Quinn. I'm going to be running around as Catra, but I might be running around going, "Hey Adora," to everybody, you know, "Hey Adora, hey Adora," just like being in the like behind, "Hey Adora." I don't know. We'll see. I'll get in character. We'll play. We'll have fun. But yeah, when I was Harley Quinn, I was definitely getting into mischief and having a blast doing it. What is this infinity dress? It is a one pattern piece dress. It has only one seam to sew. You have to finish the edges. But I feel like this infinity dress is a really good costume piece to talk about patterns, how to read them, what to do with them, and to go about making them into a real thing, because they can get complicated really quickly. But this one's super simple, so I thought that this would be a really easy one to get going. And this also is a great costume dress because it is like, it reminds me of like a Grecian costume, and that could be a lot of characters from there. So yes, we're gonna have fun. Yanla says, if somebody shows up as Shira, you should go up to them. LOL. Of course, that's the fun of the con, is being in character. People don't go, hi, Felicia. They go, hi, Catra. I don't know you, but it's okay. We're going to say hi because you appreciate this character. It's a fun one to be. Speaking of cats, I hear Spooky. Spooky, come say hi. You're meowing. Now you have to come say hi. Look at my ears. What do you think of my ears, Spooky? He doesn't care. He really doesn't. But look at Bruno's down here. Oh, say hi, Bruno. Say hi. He has no idea what I'm saying. What he's saying hi to. But we got Spooky and we have Bruno. Let me go back to... Okay. Any questions before I go? I know people were wondering about patterns, but we'll cover that next week. And I'm going to try and go live around 6:30 next Tuesday. We'll see if it happens. I'll let you know one way or the other, whether it goes sooner or later before I go live. But I think that this time works for me to go live. Yeah, so I enjoyed this. This was really fun. I'm excited about the next project, and I will definitely goof off and post photos on the interwebs for you guys to enjoy. And yep, until next time, I'll see you guys next Tuesday. All right. Bruno, you gotta let me... Here, move to the side so I can push the buttons. Say bye-bye. Can I say bye? You don't know what we're looking at? All right. Bye. Thank you guys so much for joining. Bruno. Thank you guys for joining me. Bye.